So, folks, the last leadership candidate that we have tonight is Tanille Johnston. Tanille is from the Weewaikai First Nation. She is a social worker and a mother. She was born and raised in Campbell River, BC, and she has spent her life fighting for equity, justice, and strong, healthy communities. She has over 14 years as a registered social worker. Tanille now serves as the Director of Community Programs and Services with the First Nations Health Authority as a city councillor. Her leadership is grounded in action, from delivering frontline services to advancing change within institutions. And now she's running to lead the NDP into a new era, one that centers equity and builds from the ground up, that fights for affordable housing, universal health care, and a real representation for Indigenous peoples. Tanille believes that a stronger NDP starts with listening, organizing, and having the courage to lead everyone. And her fun fact is that despite not being elected, she was able to capture an impressive 26,000 votes, about 33% in the federal election in April for North Island Powell River in BC, and came a very close second in that race. So welcome to Tanille. So nice to see you again. It's so nice to see you again.
Yes, you as well. It's been forever.
So what do workers need to hear right now?
Oh, what do workers not need to hear right now? I think workers need to hear that the NDP is invested in building a strategy that's going to help us win. I think, thanks. I think they need to hear messages that's going to establish confidence that there is a big, bold future right around the corner, and that the NDP is there to back them and make it happen. The job losses are stacking up constantly. We heard of another 1,200 jobs that are threatened today through GM, which is just heartbreaking. And I think we need to earn that confidence back by demonstrating action, and part of that is getting into the next election and winning, so that we can do these big, bold policy changes that we want to see across the country.
Thank you for that. What's the most important action that you would take on day one?
Day one. So what comes to mind right away is free memberships. I think if we want to grow the party and we want to make the changes that we want to make, we need more people. And to do that is making it accessible. We need to not have a paywall that's closing down our party. We need to open up that door. Even if we want more people to come to the table, open up the door, arguably put in a ramp, widen it, make it super accessible so that we can have all people welcome to the NDP table.
Can you tell us a little bit about your decision to run for leader? What sparked that decision?
Oh, it was definitely a long process. I wanted to make sure that I was having conversations with folks that knew me from a variety of perspectives, not only politically, who I am as a person, as a parent, who I was as a student organizer, and whether or not this was an avenue that I should be pursuing. On top of that, I was getting calls from folks from various places in the country that I had never met before, but they watched our battle in North Island Powell River, and they called and said, would you consider this? I looked at Indigenous leaders before me that stepped into this space. I contacted numerous Indigenous leaders across the country to have those conversations. I really felt that we needed representation in our leadership race. We are the New Democratic Party. We are for all people, and I wanted to see that in our leadership race. And so here we are, making the big move and running for leadership.
In your estimation, what is the most important trait that the next leader needs to possess?
I think the next leader really needs to have a ton of energy, a ton of commitment, the ability to see and hear across diverse spectrums. They need to be able to hold our values as core, have a lot of integrity in that. Inclusion isn't just a word, it's a verb. You need to activate inclusion. You need to live that. You need to demonstrate it day in and day out. If we don't have that in a leader, if you can't see yourself in that leader as a student, as a minority, as a person that maybe identifies as an equity group, or anything other other than your average Canadian. You need to be able to see yourself in our party. And so I believe that as someone who grew up in student politics and was arguably born in student politics, as someone who is Indigenous, as a woman, I feel like I do embody a lot of those things. I feel like I'm positioned to have an opportunity to build this party and to structure it in a way that's going to enable that victory in the next election.
For workers sitting in a lunchroom worried about their job next week, next month, and you're walking in as the NDP leader, what is your message to them? How are you engaging with them?
My message is the change is here. We're going to go bold into the next election. We need to organize. We need to come together. I think first, before I would talk at that group, though, I would need to hear them out. I think we need to own where maybe we haven't stepped up, where maybe we haven't championed a line that we should have. And I think we need to hear that. I think we need to take a second to be critical of ourselves and use that to do better, to go forward, to build more, and to be accountable to the people. We don't want folks to feel like disenchanted by the NDP. We want people to feel inspired and invigorated and ready to go. And in order to do that, you have to establish that trust. And to establish trust, you have to hear people out.
And you ran in the last election and you had a great showing. And so I'm wondering, during that campaign or in your time as an activist in a variety of roles that you've had, is there something that really stands out that you're particularly proud of, or a connection made, or a moment that you think back that's really inspiring to you?
I mean, there were so many. I mean, I was super proud of the effort that our team put in. So for those folks that don't know North Island, Powell River, it's a very large riding, probably about 300 kilometers long and 300 kilometers wide, with numerous rural and remote communities that I think we all know need a lot of extra support in order to run a successful campaign. It's costly, and you need a big team. I think we did really well at connecting with all of our small areas. I was on boats and planes to get to every little nook and cranny that we had. Some communities had never seen a candidate come out to their community before, and that was really amazing for me. I think one other thing that really stands out is we launched a campaign for equitable opportunity in the ballot box. So there's a lot of smaller nations that may not necessarily be overly rural or remote, but they didn't have a ballot box that was close to them, that was easily accessible so that they could go vote. And so we worked with Elections Canada to ensure that every nation within my riding had the opportunity to have a ballot box in their community. And that was not just so that geographically it was, easy to reach over and put your ballot in, but they were in spaces that were identified commonly as safe for those folks to go vote. And that was really important for me.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that. Is there something that people should know about you that we may not already know?
Oh, I mean, I'm the era of social media, so there's not a whole ton of secrets about me. One thing, so my Bakwam name, my First Nations name is Lakologwa, and it loosely translates to speaks loud or voices heard. So
So we have a little bit of time. Either you can fill it or I can ask you another question. It's up to you.
I love questions. Do we get to take from the audience? No? Don't take me up on that.
So you went into work as a registered social worker. What caused you to want to do that work, and what was the driving force behind that decision?
Yeah, so post-secondary education was a huge journey for me. When I first entered, I actually went into nursing school at Camosun College. I learned quickly that I wasn't really a nurse, and I shifted my studies into studying mental health and addiction, and did a lot of support worker work after that, and was really happy with being involved with those community members and helping and feeling like I was being supportive and doing really good work. And so what career can get me closer to this? What career can enable me to do more of this? and it was social work. And so I went back into social work and ended up doing my undergrad and my master's in social work at the University of Victoria, which was a really amazing experience. And I was very lucky to start that career at an organization called Surrounded by Cedar Child and Family Services, and I had just the best leadership to learn from in my team leader, a very strong Cree, Saskatchewan woman that really showed me, you know, how to do the work well, and I'm so forever grateful for that leadership.
And how has that work morphed into the political work that you're now seeking to do, or your decision to run in the last election for an MP spot?
Yeah, so an author that's famous in the social work world is Bell Hooks, and she has the term social work in the back. The personal is political, and arguably politics entered my life when I was given a status number. I've never lived a life outside of politics. It's always been a part of my life, whether I wanted it to be or not. And social work is built on advocacy. It's built on justice. It's built around navigating systems that were never meant to work for you. And I feel like that is also the work of the NDP. That is the work that we're doing. We're advocating. We're fighting against systems that were never built for everyday people. They're built to keep people down. They're built to support the 1% to gain further and further wealth. So I feel like it's, you know, social work and politics, it's kind of one and the same.
Thank you so much, Tanille. Really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.